The light hitting your eyes right now is a remnant of the past. Because the sun is 93 million miles away, its energy requires time to reach us. At this very second, that star could have already ceased to exist, and you'd sit in its warmth, oblivious that your primary energy source is dead. We exist within a strict temporal window of 8 minutes and 20 seconds. This is the absolute speed limit of the universe, the time it takes for a photon to bridge the gap between the solar surface and your retina. This delay isn't limited to light. Albert Einstein proved that gravity also travels at this finite speed. The invisible tether that keeps our planet locked in its orbit isn't an instantaneous connection. It is a physical wave moving through the vacuum. This creates a haunting physical reality. If the sun vanished, we'd be held in place by a gravitational pull that has already disappeared. Earth continues to circle an empty center point for 8 minutes, orbiting a ghost. Watch the map. When the gravitational ripple passes, the curve breaks. Earth is instantly hurled into the dark in a straight line at 30 kilometers per second. Our sense of a stable, sunlit present is a cosmic illusion. We are effectively uncoupled from the solar system long before we even notice the sky go dark. As inertia takes control, the planet becomes a cosmic drifter. We are no longer a protected satellite. We are a rogue planet accelerating into the absolute zero of interstellar space. The biological impact is immediate. Without incoming sunlight to trigger the chemical reactions of photosynthesis, the primary engine of terrestrial life shuts down. The plants simply stop breathing. As the surface temperature begins an agonizing descent, the atmosphere serves as a brief, failing defense. It traps the final remnants of heat close to the crust, acting as a dying thermal blanket for a world that can no longer replenish its energy. The horror of this transition is total. In a matter of days, we move from a stable, nurtured home into a freezing, drifting vessel lost in the deep dark. While the physics of the freeze take months to play out, the human element unravels in hours. A psychological winter claims the population long before the oceans turn to ice. Our brains are hardwired to the circadian rhythm, a biological clock set by the sun. When the dawn fails to arrive, the internal chemistry of every human on Earth begins to fracture, triggering a state of permanent primal dread. This mental collapse quickly translates to systemic failure. As communication networks buckle under the weight of 1 billion panicked inquiries and no clear answers emerge, the basic infrastructure of modern society simply ceases to function. With the sun gone and the grid failing, the logistics of food and safety dissolve. The first 48 hours reveal a chilling contrast. While the planet's surface begins its slow descent toward freezing, human civilization, unstable and blind, collapses under the weight of its own panic. As the months pass, the narrative shifts away from human chaos toward a strange transformation of the planet's chemistry. When the global temperature reaches -100 degrees Celsius, we hit a critical atmospheric threshold. At this extreme cold, the air itself can no longer remain a gas. The oxygen and nitrogen condense and fall from the sky. This isn't water. It is the atmosphere literally raining down to the surface as solid, frozen snow. This massive accumulation of atmospheric ice creates a permanent seal across the Earth's crust, separating the surface from the vacuum of space. And this seal works in reverse. It traps the planet's internal geothermal heat, creating a protected thermal pocket deep underground. The very event that destroys life on the surface, the freezing of the air, becomes the essential barrier that preserves the deep Earth. To see the future of life, we have to look miles beneath the frozen oceans, toward the volcanic vents of the Earth's core. Down here, the sun never mattered. These hydrothermal vents are powered by the friction of the Earth's mantle, spewing mineral-rich heat into the darkness, just as they have for billions of years. Entire ecosystems thrive in this heat. Microscopic life and complex organisms like this bioluminescent anglerfish are perfectly adapted to the crushing pressure and absolute dark, feeding entirely on geothermal energy. This provides a blueprint for survival. In deep underground bunkers powered by this same geothermal heat, remnants of human civilization could endure for eons, shielded by the frozen atmosphere above. Earth has completed its transition. It is now a self-contained, core-dependent survival vessel, moving through the void on its own terms. From a distance, our world is no longer a vibrant blue marble. It is an isolated, frozen sphere, drifting blindly through the vast scale of the Milky Way. We are drifting past the outer giants of our old neighborhood, leaving the rings of Saturn behind as we head into the empty expanse between the stars. The planet is now a sealed vault, a ghost ship carrying the stubborn survivors of terrestrial life toward distant constellations. Humanity's comfort is tied to the light of a single star, but life itself is remarkably resilient, capable of finding a way to endure, even in the coldest depths of the universe.